Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast, where we talk about everything dog. Q&As with veterinarian professionals, rescue operators, everyday topics. We cover everything dog on this podcast. So make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media on both Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for listening. Now here's that next episode. Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast. This is your host, Brittany, and today we're going to talk about hidden hazards, the toxic things lurking in your dog-friendly home. So many of us with pets, with dogs, with cats, we do our best to make our home as pet-friendly as possible. But what if there were little things in your house that are actually harming your pets that you aren't thinking about? So think about water bowls, floor cleaners, candles, air fresheners. We're going to break those down a little bit today, kind of talk about some of those, maybe some simple changes that can make a pretty big difference in your pet's life. So the first one I mentioned was water bowl. I've seen this a lot on social media lately. And what's crazy is prior to the past few months, I hadn't really heard people talking about this. So cleaning your dog's water bowl daily. And I know for some of us, we're already doing it. Some of us were like, that seems excessive. That seems like a lot. I think the goal, of course, should be daily. But if for you and, maybe it's an improvement to do it weekly or every couple of days. But why is this important? And it's important because the water bowls get like a biofilm buildup. It's that slimy layer. I don't know if you've ever taken the water bowl and you're trying to clean it with like a paper towel and you feel how slimy it is. That's bacteria. And it can cause a number of issues. It can cause a lot of GI issues, diarrhea, could lead to something else. And normally it doesn't, thank goodness, but it could just be causing some different GI problems. And as we know, our immune system, our dog's immune system kind of lies within their gut. So having gut issues can lead to other issues. And so something as simple as just cleaning your dog's bowl daily or as often as you can make it. Along with that discussion is the material of the bowl. I think a lot of us used to use plastic bowls, and I do still have some at my house as well. So it's like making that switch, but plastic bowls can trap that bacteria. It can just kind of hold a lot of what we want to get rid of. And so thinking about switching to stainless steel or some of the other options that are out there, there's some different like non-toxic ceramic bowls, things like that. That's another swap that can make a huge difference. Now, talking about things that are low to the ground, let's think about our floors. Our dogs are walking on our floors all the time, obviously, and they're licking their paws. And so we need to consider floor cleaners and household chemicals. So not only are the dogs, licking their paws, but those pads on their feet can absorb residue, chemicals, toxins. And so we want to reduce that toxic load on the dogs. And we've been sort of taught that clean smell means that your house is clean. And it's like, well, clean might not equal safe. And like, then you get into like what's truly clean. But a lot of those heavy fragrances are not good for your dog. And other things that are not good are bleach, ammonia, some harsh disinfectants. So thinking about mop floors, thinking about carpet cleaners, laundry detergent residue even. Those are some things that could be dangerous. And so what you're looking for are products that are maybe non-toxic, maybe looking for something that says it's pet safe. That one gets tricky. You have to look into that a little bit. But considering at least what you're putting on your floor. If it's heavily fragranced, it's probably not great for your dog. And it's probably not great for you because a lot of those, even for us, are endocrine disruptors. So think about some pet safe cleaning alternatives. I'm going to plug the brand Blueland. I get nothing from them. They don't even know about me, but they have great non-toxic products that are very easy to work with. I love the Blueland products. There's a number of others. I don't want to speak for others that I haven't used, but I love Blueland. I'm also a pretty big fan of using like a diluted white vinegar in some cases. And then with respect to cleaning, it, like mess ups or kennels or crates, I do like Odoban, and it does say pet safe. That, and there's another enzymatic cleaner that I have been using, and that one I might not use as much, and I make sure to thoroughly clean it up, make sure that it's not wet whenever putting the dogs back in their kennels or their crates. So that is something to consider, just, something simple for you and for your pets. Along with that, talking about fragrances, think about all of the different like candles, wax melts, different sprays that you're using. Those are likely harmful to you and your pet. So you can reduce their overall toxic burden by using less of those products. For candles, there are some pet safe or like non-toxic alternatives. That's something to think about whenever you are purchasing those items as well. And then generally thinking about food and kitchen risks. Some of the big ones are access to trash. So a lot of people will have an issue, whether it be their dog gets into something toxic or they get a blockage, but access to trash. So having a lid on that trash can, maybe that trash can is on the other side of a gate. I actually have mine behind a dog gate so they can't get to it. Yes, it has a lid on it, but I want to be very cautious about that. Also talking about the kitchen, the things that we have in our kitchen. So a big one lately has been the sweetener xylitol. I think sometimes it's labeled birch sugar. That one can be very harmful to your dogs, making sure your dog's not getting into that. Some of the others to think about, like grapes and raisins, making sure your dogs aren't getting to those. And anything else that could be in your kitchen that they could have access to. So think about their access. How can you prevent them from getting into something? Having a game plan if they do get into something. And a lot of this, it's not about fear. It's just about awareness, making better choices. And oftentimes, if you're thinking about it and you're like, oh, I really want to make this switch, at least finish the product you have now. We don't want to be wasteful. I know these things are expensive. Finish it and then do your research and go buy something different. So it's not about, throwing everything away and starting fresh. It's also, it doesn't have to be this huge endeavor. It could be, okay, this month when I run out of this cleaner, I'm going to go purchase a different one. Next week's paycheck, I'm going to go get different dog bowls. I'm going to switch from that plastic to the stainless steel. Things like that, right? Implementing it incrementally and however it fits your lifestyle and your budget, because you're going for that progress over perfection. You're lessening that toxic burden for your dogs, also for you. And so coming up with that game plan and whatever that might look like for your household. So if there's only 3 things you take away from today, number 1, clean your dog's water bowl daily or as often as practical. Number 2, be very mindful of what's going on your floors and the surfaces of your home that your dogs come in contact with. Number 3, reduce heavy fragrances and chemical exposures in your home. I would love to hear from a lot of my listeners. What do you guys do to reduce that toxic burden? Do you have any cleaners that you love? Do you have any pet safe candles that you love? Feel free to chime in. As always, thank you for listening to the Canine Culture Podcast, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in to the Canine Culture Podcast. Please make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform and make sure you're following us on social media. If you have any recommendations, any topics that you'd like to hear, if you know of any guests that would be good for the show, or if you yourself want to be a guest, please reach out to us. Send us an email at canineculturepodcast@gmail.com or send us a direct message on social media. Thank you for listening, and please share this with any of your dog-loving friends.